I've changed my mind. I've decided to make this a little less complicated. Okay? I could see today in class how tired you all were. So let's uncomplicate this since it's due in 2 days. Here's my project file with my janky, not very original drop caps. I bought these from Adobe. I did not make them. But I just wanted to show you how to do this. So here's my project file. We're going to do this a slightly different way. I am providing you with this file. Okay? You've got lorem ipsum, cupcake ipsum, and pirate ipsum for your thing. And I've done them as half pages instead of whole pages. So what you're going to do, you're going to go here and you're going to make sure that I would save out a copy of this. I would not do this on your file in process. I would save out a copy of the project file because you're going to group all this stuff together. The moment that you group everything together, it comes up off of its layers. So for heaven's sakes, make a copy before you do this. So make a copy that's just for now. Group every aspect of each letter to itself. I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to grab this one. I recommend that you do this all together, all three together. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to move them over to the project file, and I'm going to paste. And as you can see, the project file isn't much bigger than this file. So the reason I said do them all together, I'm going to shift click here. If you scale them, finger on the shift key, you're going to want to scale them all the same amount, right? So they all still look like they come from the same set. If you bring them in one at a time and scale them, it's going to be difficult to keep them the same size. But if you bring them in all together and scale them, that's going to make it easier. So you're going to pick your typeface. As you can see, if I look here in the character menu, I've chosen 11 on 13. We call that +2 because the leading is 2 points more than the type size. You can play with the lead. You can play with the size. Let me just get this ready. So I'm going to click here on this grouped object. I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to come all the way down to Text Wrap. First, I'll check my text wrapped options and say I want an 8-point offset. So I've set my text wrap now, and I will make it. And you just give it a second. Now, it's looking a little funky, and I think you can see that some weirdness is happening here. So a couple different ways that I can fix that. I can go in and edit the text wrap. I can go in and to the object and say text wrap options, and I can make the text wrap deeper. If I go to 10 points and hit OK, I think that word eros, well, see, it's still in there. That's kind of weird. So you may get some kind of funky breaks as you do this. If you don't want those funky breaks, I encourage you to cheat. And the way that I would cheat is I would go back in and release the text wrap, say, I don't want to do that. And I would come in here and I would get a box. Let's say I wanted a just straightforward text wrap, straight lines, nothing fancy. I would go in and get that box and I would give it no stroke, no fill. And I would set the text wrap on the box with its nice straight edges. And as you can see, I can do that. All right. And if I wanted something special, I'll do it for the B. Hang on a second. But if I want to do this, I can do this. Now let's say I want the text to start. Let me go get my rulers. Maybe I don't want the text to start up at the top here. First of all, I need to get rid of that first letter because this is the first letter. It counts as the first letter of the text, so I get rid of the first capital. But maybe I want to do this. And then if I go in, it's a little challenging because I can't see that box, but I can play with it a little bit. So I can play around with where the text box goes. If I marquee a box, now I've got the image and that fake text box that I put in. I can move it around. I can move it down so that the top of the text is with the top of the letter. I can move the whole text closer to the letter. I can move it further away. But if you're going to come up with a system, try and be consistent, right? So at this point, I can grab this whole thing and move it up. You can see I have that little overset mark. I can move this down. Sometimes when people do drop caps, they take that first paragraph and they make it a little bigger than the rest. As a visual cue to the reader, hey, this is the first paragraph, right? Try to avoid these great big chunks. I'm going to put my finger on the shift key and the return key. That's a soft return. If I want to kind of sculpt the type and not have the extra paragraph space. And because this is lorem ipsum, I can cheat and do that. All right. Don't worry if there's overset text on the bottom. It's fine. So you can make this type bigger. You don't have to. You can move it around on the page. You can use the letters text wrap. Here, I'll do this one. Oops. I want this. So again, I'll go in and say text wrap make. Now in this case, that's not so bad, right? That's kind of fun. So I can do that so it kind of comes in here. And let's see. I'll go to Bear Claw and take it out. So we start Bear Claw Bonbon Sweet Roll. Right? But if I do this here, you're going to need to do this here. You can cheat and put in a new paragraph return if you want to. That's a hard return where I just hit the return key. But this and this need to match. If you're a book designer, you're not going to do one or the other. So if you do this here, then you're kind of committed, I'm going to get this in here, to having the letters kind of start at the same place and having the text start at the same place, all right? And then I need to go in here and get my little background box. Move this up. So that the type wraps, and I might have to kind of jockey that into position. By the way, we haven't really talked about this, but you know how the eyedropper tool picks up colors? Well, it also picks up, it can also pick up, if I come in here and I get this text and I highlight it and I get the eyedropper tool and I click on text that I like, it'll pick up the styling of the text that I like. I'm going to do that again. Here's my text. This is what I want to match it to. If I come in here and grab this and go get the eyedropper tool and click on what I want to match, it automatically matches the size and the typeface. And again, it's lorem ipsum. It's not for realsies, so I can go in and edit this so I don't end up with hideous line breaks at the bottom. All right? So if you come up with a system for your drop cap that you want to deal with, whether it's coming out from the middle of a letter or starting at the top of the letter or starting right here. You know, some people start their drop caps right there. It's up to you how you want the drop cap to interact with the copy on the page. But in for a penny, in for a pound, you've got 3 of these and they all need to look like they come from the same book. So let's pretend I did the D, and then I will I'll do export as, and I will export it as a PDF, and it'll have my first name and my last name. And if I go to the job folder, there it is. That one wasn't done yet, but you get the idea. Okay? I thought I'd make it a little bit easy on you, because this is only due in 2 days, and I know that some of you have more work to do. Like I said in class, do as much as you can without tiring yourself out. You still have nearly a week to finish this thing. I just want to get everybody kind of in position for an in-class critique on Friday. If you don't get it done before class, I'd like you to bring it with you to class. Okay, let me know if you have questions.